They will very often assume that they have the basics or essentials of the faith right and figure that whatever they might be missing or have wrong are secondary or tertiary issues that ultimately aren't of serious spiritual consequence. But this begs the question, what if they don't have the essentials right? What if the question of what the church actually is and how it is structured is an essential? What if the doctrine of theosis is essential? What if our understanding of the purpose, form, and function of holy baptism as the new birth is an essential? What if the right view of the Eucharist and actually partaking of it is an essential? What if sacramental confession is an essential? What if the correct understanding of the Holy Trinity is an essential? And possibly the most important question of all, what if an essential aspect of the Christian faith is that each individual doesn't get to arbitrarily decide what's essential or not? These are most certainly questions worth evaluating. There is only one true Christian faith. The objective truth doesn't stop mattering the moment we confess to believe in Jesus, God forbid. Quite to the contrary, rightly believing the dogmatic truths of the faith are of the utmost importance and priority. And want to know the best part? You don't have to be a scholar in order to find the true faith. You don't have to read 100 books or pull your hair out listening to complex theological debates, as much as we encourage spiritual reading and personal study. All you have to do is learn and understand what the church actually is. Ecclesiology, or the doctrine of the church, is the key. To find the true church is to find the authentic deposit of faith. All one must do beyond that is submit to the teaching of the church in humility. And not as a matter of blind faith, but rather because you firmly understand why it actually is the church and thus must have preserved the true faith. It's simple, really. Any dogmatic deviations from that non-negotiable objective standard amounts to something other than Christianity, objectively. And while I know that on one hand this seems to be like a no-brainer to many, it's actually a concept that is met with tremendous resistance among many professing Christians because it implies a moral imperative. In other words, if people truly accept the belief that there can only be one Christian faith, then they are forced to confront the reality that they are personally responsible for finding that faith and believing it. Whereas if they can turn a blind eye and delude themselves into believing that these differences don't ultimately matter, they can remain comfortable wherever they're at.